today is Mr. Greg Norman Jr. Even though he's junior, he's still a senior in my heart. He is the moderator for this group. He is from Jupiter Group, and he is going to teach us all about the Doge. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Greg Norman Jr. Woo! It takes a second for the mic to warm up. Yeah, I'll give it to you because it takes a second.
Hello? Hello? Okay. All right. How y'all doing? That was a riveting video. But these next guys will be very, very good to talk to, speak to. They've done a massive project, as you all know. Doge Pound is huge, and SuperDOGE is doing an amazing thing as well. So I want to introduce this panel here to you guys. First and foremost, Kyle from the Doge Pound. Introduce him, please. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. How are you?
And then Alex Rotaru from SuperDOGE.
Awoo. Rotaru, good to be here.
Rotaru, sorry, buddy. So we were just talking a little bit before this, and we all come from very different backgrounds. I'm sure everyone here is from a lot of different backgrounds as well. Alex is a very interesting story, so I'll let you start with you about where you come from and how you found yourself here in this space.
Should I do it in the character voice from the animation?
That's your call.
No, that's their call. Yes. Yeah? I told him for special fee, I don't light this cigar. I was born in Romania, of Russian extraction. I have a little Russian blood at home in the fridge in a vial. And I made the mistake of going to MIT. And then I made the further mistake of not going to Princeton, and the further mistake of going to University of Southern California. And I made very serious documentaries, very serious. Put you to sleep, even worse than the video you saw before. I won awards for them, but I didn't go because I was sleeping on couch. And then I understood thing about blockchain. Blockchain, fantastic thing. You can get everything for free, be very rich, and spend all the money and still have more, right?
Right.
And anyway, I will keep the cigar but drop the accent. I was interested in blockchain philosophically long ago. Just the idea of decentralized independence was so exciting to me. And didn't get into it. I had other things to do, like ruin 2 marriages, raise a child. And eventually I came around and got together with a group of Hollywood filmmakers and a developer who's not doxed yet, because he has another project coming in a few weeks, and we're going to reveal both of them at once, who should be in Hollywood. And we decided to go into the charity meme coin game. What charity meme coin game? We kind of invented it, right? Well, I think there are a handful of charity meme coins now, but when we were looking at what meme coin to do, we knew we wanted to do something extremely wide spectrum, right? It's like, imagine a little dog that's like an orchestra man, like has everything, a little drum and bells and whistles. So we tried to create something as future-proof as possible. So it's a deflationary coin. We have a Discord community that upvotes charities. We've given $500,000 already to charity, although we're only a few months old. We have an animation series with a really deep bench of creatives. From our lead writer wrote Gargoyles and the animated series, and X-Men, 4 or 5 Disney movies, RoboCop, and we are dropping our first NFT of a series of NFTs, and we'll basically create coins, so tokens, and NFTs based on our 3 lead characters, one of whom is played by Crypto Wendy O. And we're on the Binance Smart Chain. So we tried to look at it culturally in terms of this collaborative aspect between creators and audience, because this is a unique opportunity. Normally in entertainment, the creators give to the audience something to wiggle their tails at, and the audience gives money, or gives it to the studio, and the studio may share it or not with us. This is an opportunity to create a community where there's a feedback loop. And there's an ability for input and mutual growth and shaping our own future. So we're all excited about that. And we're kind of newcomers to the field, only 1 or 2 or 3 years. There are people here and here who've done this longer. That's who SuperDOGE is.
Yeah, so I got a lot of questions for you. One, what do you think the sentiment is in Hollywood to connect the pre-existing audiences, or the current model of production and then marketing and then putting out a film or a TV series and then converting that now to utilizing NFTs, and you see a few different examples coming up. You think it's growing within that ecosystem?
Hollywood never likes to be, by the way, the name of the Chihuahua I play is Hollywood. So, except in Russian it would be Gollywood, because I don't know, too much information, but they don't pronounce H in Russian. So a name like Hitler is pronounced Gitler. And Hollywood, Gollywood. But the producers didn't want me to go that far. Hollywood hates being even seeming for a second like it's out of sync, right? It needs to feel that it's on the cutting edge. So yeah, this is bandied about a lot, the idea of blockchain NFTs, and when you ask them, Bitcoin, I mean, but when you go a little bit deeper, you find that there's not a lot of knowledge, or there's no knowledge at all. But they don't, that's the other thing Hollywood does well, they co-opt, right, the talent, they co-opt the experience, they co-opt the people who are experts. What I think will need to happen for wide adoption, I don't even think conceptually we're there yet. I know that somebody was telling me that Warner Brothers, the studio, was launching an NFT yesterday called Matrix, and they had lots of people in queue. I think they had 12,000 people waiting for something like, I don't know, I forget, 3,000 NFTs. But they weren't on a chain. They were asking for credit cards. Obviously, they want to get in, but they don't get it. They don't understand this is an ecosystem in which payment doesn't come from a credit card unless it's going through a certain cycle, right? So they want to get in, I think. They'll need to get in because they need to seem cool, they need to be progressive. And they will need, however, a big win, a big victory.
And what would that be in terms of a movie or series?
Financial. Yeah, there needs to be some sort of project, a big movie with, big stars. A lot of people go and pay, download, whatever. I hope we'll have theaters again. I love going in front of a 60-foot screen in a dark room with strangers, because when that happens, you have it's very funny, the emotion kind of cycles at the same time, the same way, even though you don't know these other 300 people in a packed movie theater. But if that doesn't happen, then it's gonna have to be quantified in a different way. But it still needs to be measurable success. But for now, I think we have a year or 2 or 3 in which attempts will be made. I know that there are NFT movies being made. I'm not quite sure what that means, and I would turn the question back to you guys. What does that even mean at this point? Because we don't have a clearly defined, and that's great, we don't have a clearly defined path. Everyone in this room could come up with a different path, and you could stick the label NFT movie to it, and it would be something totally different.
It seems very analogous to me to the sports world as well. So Jupiter Group, we speak a lot with organizations, institutions about them building out their NFT strategy. And what he just said about Hollywood, about wanting to launch something and use NFTs to go, is the exact same thing I'm hearing in the sports world. We all know NBA Top Shot did a really good job, but you don't technically own that NFT.
Right. Copyright.
Yeah, exactly. NFL is going to get into it. The UFC is already into it. PGA Tour is getting into it. You name it, they're all going to get into it because they all want to see the opportunity that is presented to them, but they have no vehicle in order to get there. So it will take early adopters like yourselves in order to really pave the path and then try things and adopt.
I don't want to edge him out of the conversation.
Yeah. You're good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if we're early. I mean, we're early adopters. Even what we're doing is probably going to be looked upon like a slightly better horse cart by the time we get to have working vehicles in this space. What we're trying to do is to leverage the media exposure and penetration that we classically have, because all of us have managers and agents, and the pilot dropped and it's done fairly well. I think it racked up like almost 20,000 views in 3 days, and I'm very worried because there's not a single negative comment. So please, someone go and troll us, because until you're trolled, you're not anyone. But you need something. So we have 6 a pilot series of 6 episodes. They're going to drop at 2-week intervals, followed by 3 or 4 additional pieces of content. You know, dogs are dogs, right? So who here is familiar with Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis? Okay, we have Between Two Hydrants with Bark Galifianakis. So those are going to be extra things. We're trying to, our aim is to be like The Simpsons, but for crypto, or South Park, but for crypto. So it's not about the quality of the animation. It's vector-based, so it's good, but it's, you know, it's not going to watch Pixar. It's about staying current and tapping into and parodying and making fun of what goes on in crypto. And it's really fun because we have characters like Feline Tusk and Kill Bates and Mark Zuckerberg and the rest. And, you know, we all know their sins and their strengths and what they're doing. And the beauty of it is, since this is a nascent field, no one is spotless, but no one is guilty either. Everyone's trying their best. I mean, I lost a lot of money on that SNL day because I foolishly thought it was going to go up after Elon spoke on SNL, although mathematically I knew I should have just split it, right? And I would have still made money. But the thing is, we all make dumb things because we're trying. We're pioneers in this field. It's never been done before. So we're not as much early adopters because we're conscious of the fact that we need to take the old school model and raise visibility for what's going on here and now. One thing I heard about that we're talking about doing in Hollywood is, you know, they have a lot of outtakes. Now imagine for the fans of the Twilight series, for instance, and I heard they were looking at that. If you're a fan of that doomed romance between Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, and you could own a 5-minute excerpt that nobody else owns, or 5-second excerpt of an interaction that they had, they were on set, they were filmed, that was never released, that could be an interesting NFT. But that's still utilizing something that's in the past. And I think that's where it has to start. It has to start with the old model. And then we're all going to have to be responsible to invent the new model. And it might have to do with metaverse. It might have to do with gamifying. It might have to do with VR. We don't know yet.
And just so to be clear, you don't do the Dogecoin, you do your own coin. You launched that prior to launching everything else?
Yes, what happened is there's a reason why I think the Doge space is proliferating, because we have psychologically in the language, it's called the underdog, not the undercat or the underrabbit, or the underhorse. And I think that's part of the appeal. You know, dogs are seen as friendly but rebellious and unruly, whereas cats are more civilized. So our nemeses are the fat cats, or actually they're fiat cats with an I. And so we were looking at the success, and this is not necessarily of Dogecoin, but it was a few months ago when Shiba Inu and other coins were beginning to pop up, and we realized there was an entire ecosystem and that we could capture the essence of it, and nobody had taken SuperDOGE. And I'm like, great, it's, you know, the man Superman, woman Superwoman, why not Doge SuperDOGE?
And can you talk me through the process you had to go through with building out your tokenomics?
Oh, I'm more of a foo-foo-fa-fa creative, but let me see if I can turn on my MIT brain. Well, the idea was always to do charity. And again, what we're trying to do with this coin is to be future-proof. We're definitely going to fail, but the attempt continues, and because it's code, right, you can probably fix your mistakes. But there will come a point where some new snazzle dongle will appear, and we're like, oh, we don't know how to plug into that application. What do we do with that? And then we'll have to fork or do something else. But the idea was, and our founder lives in the Far East, and he saw around him a lot of children poverty and children trafficking, and he said, I want to create a coin. That was the initial impetus that gives to charity anti-slavery for kids in Southeast Asia. And so it developed from there. And I don't think that the model is unique, the idea of a deflationary system that redistributes to holders. So we decided to have a 6% burn on any transaction or transfer, of which 1/3, namely 2%, goes back to the dev team. which is certainly not enough because now we have an animation series. So we have a dev team twice or 3 times the size of a normal one. 2% is reflected back to the community, and 2% goes to, we started out with 3 charities. To my shame, I don't recall one of them, but I know that 2 of the other 2 are, one of them is it's called Water for Life, and we dig wells in Western Africa for populations that don't have access to water. And another one is based here in the States, and it's a foster home institution that recently renamed one of the buildings SuperDOGE that they own, because they were able to take 7 kids out of the experience of homelessness, or prevent them from experiencing homelessness. And every 3 months, the Discord community, also known as the Doge House, and I was talking earlier, we somehow managed to not have Doge Pound in it, so we're happy because we want to leave their IP alone. But we have the Doge Pack and the Doge House, and if you're in the Doge House, if you own one of the NFTs that are dropping tomorrow, you will be able to propose, suggest a charity, and then promote it in the Discord, and that'll be a vote. And every 3 months, we're going from 3 charities down to 2, just to give them a little more. And although our market cap is currently at 11 million, we, like I said, donated $500,000 already to these 3 charities, I think that the idea of a deflationary token is extremely powerful, and it's going to benefit really everyone. The short-term holders who decide to take profit, it helps them. The long-term holders who get that much more reflected at them, it helps them. And the charities are, they'll be very happy. We have reports that smaller charities in particular cannot do this type of fundraising this fast. They just can't.
Is there a vehicle for charities that helps them onboard crypto to be able to?
This was interesting. Yes, yeah, I had to deal with some major hospital charities in Los Angeles, trying to explain to them what a MetaMask is, because this is on the Binance Smart Chain, and there's only 2 wallets that hold this particular coin that it can do the transactions, and MetaMask is the best of them, the better of them, and we had to postpone onboarding some charities because either they didn't understand the mechanism of dealing with crypto, and I finally gave up and I said, do you have a 17-year-old niece? Do you have a 14-year-old son? Do you just bring them? That's what I mean. I asked the woman. There you go. The woman who was running the charity. I'm like, ma'am, do you have like someone young in your family? Just ask them. Trust me. They'll if they don't know it already, they'll know it in 15 minutes, and they'll be able to teach you. One email from me, and they'll get everything. And there was another major charity, one of the oldest children's charity in Hollywood. And they hadn't thought of having a social media presence because, again, it takes change. And we looked at them and we were like, well, we got to take you another time because you need to, again, hire someone who understands the world we live in and get a social media presence, because we need to be promoting each other on social media in order to grow the whole plant, the whole forest here. But all it takes is a MetaMask. And I guess an accountant who won't faint at the sound of cryptocurrency. But it's, and they're already a 501c3, so they don't even have to worry about the taxes, right? But yeah, there is some resistance. However, we're looking for smaller charities, again, because the big charities can still fundraise, the top 5, top 6 in every field. But there are charities, local charities, that are doing amazing work and having a very, very hard time raising funds. And now we can help them get in a month or 2 what they normally would get in a year.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you have the charitable component, you have the operational side of raising capital, be able to support the launch of a new series, animated series, be able to fund it and grow it. I think that's fantastic. And I think that's the defining moment of what this all is, that you could really flip the whole business model on its head and start from a brand new baseline, which is community and raise capital from scratch to be able to grow what you need to grow. So one last question for you. Is it your, why did you choose the Binance Smart Chain? And I have no skin in the game. I'm just curious.
Again, I didn't. That was our developer. And I'm glad he did, because I don't know if you've checked the prices on the ETH chain lately. I can't even make a joke about it anymore. Everyone here is just gonna groan and reach for the wallet. And I like, you know, we're launching the NFTs on ETH because OpenSea, because adoption, right? I remember there was a great excitement in our small community. We're part of media and tech group in LA when we first heard of the Binance Smart Chain, and we were like looking at transactions and looking at the gas fees and going, And it's fast. It's not as fast now. It's got a little slower now. It's in minutes, but it was in milliseconds in March, April. I think that had to, and it also felt like there was a lot of activity on that chain, and there were a lot of independent, like smaller and indie-minded. It's almost like the equivalent of the indie filmmaking world, which has a certain appeal as opposed to working for a studio, like what ETH seemed at the time. And I think the coders and the developer were getting familiar with it, and they thought this would be a good idea. I'm not even sure. I guess you could have something on the ETH chain that would have the exact same tokenomics, but I couldn't answer that. Maybe not. Maybe there was something specific.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see how SuperDOGE goes in the series.
Trust me.
I'm looking forward to it.
The series, I want to say one thing. It's because it's all about community, right? The series has an interesting aspect to it. We're gonna make fun of every major NFT out there and every community. And by make fun means if you give us permission, we'll make very nice fun of you. If you don't give us permission, we'll make really nasty fun of you. Because guess what? We have something called the First Amendment, and parody is why the First Amendment was written in the first place.
Well, I love South Park. So.
That's South Park, right? They'll just take the piss out of anything they choose to. But it has to be relevant. The audience will punish you if you're, you know, and now the audience, you guys have so much direct access. Like right now it's on YouTube. On YouTube, the access is immediate. All you got to do is click on the comments, and you can just, didn't like something, boom, you can just say it. Uh-oh. I see, I see someone approaching. I don't think it's a dog.
You got time? We got.
You can just ask if there's any.
Is your mic working?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Doge Pound. You guys have been doing an amazing job lately. It's been growing. It's the amount of projects you're bringing on there for your launchpad. Your partnership's been phenomenal. Start from scratch if you can for us, and let us know how you got here and how you built up Doge.
Yeah. So, well, do we have any Doge Pound holders in the audience? I know we have we got a bunch. All right. Oh. Well, welcome, guys.
Doge holders. I'm gonna join your stage.
Yeah, so as many people know, Doge Pound is it's one of the larger PFP projects on Ethereum right now, one of the larger communities. Right now we're trying to figure out how we can transition from PFP projects really into a sustainable business. I think that's the biggest obstacle that we'll face for now and the rest of 2022 and time to come. Yeah, I don't know, there's a lot we could talk about, so.
Yeah, okay, so I think you've done a really good job at how you've partnered not just with the other projects coming forward, but with guys like Alex Becker, with guys like Journey, and how you've formulated that partnership over a long-term process, right? I mean, like, they are not shilling you guys, but they're working with you in the way you all are out there, connecting with your community, but also doing fun things like trying to engage with Elon on a regular basis is really cool. So talk about how that process came about. How did you got connected with those individuals?
I mean, some of it was kind of lucky. People like Alex Becker and JNRY Crypto, they were in our project from pretty much the very start of the project. Now we help them in different capacities. We've kind of turned into a little bit of a publishing model and a launchpad. A launchpad is one of the functionalities that our holders get. So JNRY Crypto is one of the projects that was actually on our launchpad, and we helped him develop all of his artwork and his website and get everything ready for him, and Doge Pound holders got early access to that. Alex Becker, similar. We help him with Neo Tokyo. We're helping them with artwork, helping them with different aspects of their project. So we're all kind of intermingled and we help each other to a certain extent. But in the beginning, it was definitely some luck that they happened to love the Doge Pound, and it's just become it's become a great community thanks to many of the people in the audience as well.
And so you're recently coming into offering gaming into the Launchpad.
Yeah.
What was the inception of that? Was that Alex who helped you guys out, or your personal involvement with it?
Yeah, so I used to own a mobile app and mobile gaming company, and my business partner who's in the audience over there, he also was pretty successful in the mobile gaming space. So, I mean, like I said, we realized that the Doge Pound can't just exist as a PFP project. So we're trying to tackle big things at the end of this year and next year that we think can make it sustainable, and one of those things would be gaming. So you'll see a lot of things coming out of the Doge Pound, and more so early next year, that are very much gaming focused. So we're excited for that, yeah.
I have a question for all of you gentlemen up here. How can we support your projects? How can we be a part of what you're doing? How can we get involved, anyone in the crowd, if they're not already involved? And we'll start over here.
1, 2. Go to SuperDOGE.io. Decide if you want to buy some SuperDOGE, SUPDOG, SuperDOGE, and join the Discord and mint an NFT or 6 if you feel like it. And you can scan the back of my blazer when I leave, if you don't remember SuperDOGE.io. And you be the judge. We want to be 0.07 ETH. It's a 10,000 generational. It's run of the mill. Pardon? Minting tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. Yes, and you have a chance to win one of 10 NFTs if you go to if you scan me or something.
I love that. Good job. Good job. This is alpha stage, so you might as well get your alpha while you can. And you, sir, kind in the middle?
So Jupiter Group partnered up with contemporary artist Brendan Murphy to do the Bungie project. So that already launched, but we have a few other things coming online with that pretty soon. So holders right now will get into a raffle to win 999 prints by Brendan Murphy, as well as a custom-made Bungie Rolex watch, which is very cool looking. And then taking a playbook out of them, we partnered up with another artist called Mr. E. If you go to his Instagram account, MREGFX, he's an insanely good digital graphic artist. He did work for Michael Jordan brand, Sony, FaZe, Rockstar Energy Drink. He's really talented. So we're doing a 10K project with him called Polygoons. That's launching the end of December. So again, just like what he said, join the Discord, jump on the Twitter, interact with the community already there, and get involved with us.
Best way to get involved in the Doge Pound, I think the most interactive way to get involved in the community most times is to join the Discord if you really want to be involved in the community. Otherwise, you can follow us on the Doge Pound NFT on Twitter. Yeah, I would recommend getting in Discord. We also realize the price point is quite high for the Doge Pound, so we're going to be working on ways that we can get more people involved. That's definitely a long-term mission for us.
And lastly, one word, what does Doge mean to you? You have to go. Yeah, you gotta do it. It's not an option on this stage. What I say goes.
Bark.
Okay.
All right, Doge, we have a big thing in the Doge Pound that everyone does a woo.
Okay, look at woo! Oh, look at that. You got your crowd here. All right, everyone give a hand for the panelists of the Doge Pound. Thank you so much.